I was planning my dream wedding when my fiancé revealed a secret that made me question everything I knew about him. The florist's hands trembled as she arranged the final centerpiece, white peonies cascading over crystal vases like snow. Perfect, I whispered, touching the delicate petals. 3 days until Daniel and I exchanged vows at the historic Riverside Chapel. 3 days until I became Mrs. Elena Vasquez Green, a name I'd practiced writing in cursive since our engagement 6 months ago. The reception hall glowed under string lights, exactly as I'd envisioned since childhood. Daniel appeared in the doorway, his broad shoulders filling the frame. Even after 2 years together, my heart still skipped when he smiled that crooked grin that had first caught my attention at the law firm where we both worked. Senior partner, Harvard law graduate, devoted son to his elderly mother. Everything about him screamed stability and success. My family adored him, especially my father, who'd never approved of my previous boyfriends. It's beautiful, Elena, he said, but something in his voice sounded strained. Dark circles shadowed his usually bright green eyes. Can we talk privately? The florist gathered her supplies and left us alone in the golden light filtering through stained glass windows. I smoothed my engagement ring, the 2-carat diamond catching fragments of colored light from the windows. What's wrong? You've been acting strange all week. Are you getting cold feet? Because if you are, we can postpone. My words died as I saw the envelope in his hand. Aged paper yellowed at the edges with my name written in unfamiliar handwriting. This arrived at my office yesterday, Daniel said, extending the envelope toward me. His hand shook slightly, and I noticed sweat beading along his hairline despite the cool October air. Elena, there's something I should have told you a long time ago. Something about my past that changes everything. The envelope felt heavy, weighted with more than just paper. Inside, a photograph slipped out first. Daniel, maybe 20 years younger, standing next to a woman with long black hair and hollow eyes. They were both dressed in what looked like military fatigues, but not quite right. The woman's shirt bore stains I didn't want to identify. Behind them, a concrete wall displayed graffiti in a language I couldn't read. My hands trembled as I unfolded the letter beneath the photograph. The writing was cramped, desperate. Daniel Green participated in operations that violated international law. He was present during interrogations that resulted in deaths of civilians. He helped cover up war crimes. The woman in the photo, Maria Santos, died 3 days after this picture was taken. She was 22 years old and had 2 children. The letter was signed Colonel James Whitmore, U.S. Army Intelligence retired. This isn't real, I said, looking up at Daniel's ashen face. Someone's trying to sabotage our wedding. This is fake, right? Daniel, tell me this is someone playing a sick joke. But his silence stretched between us like a chasm opening in the earth. He sank into one of the chapel chairs, burying his face in his hands. I was deployed to a classified location for 18 months after law school. I told you I did contracting work for the government. That wasn't technically a lie, but it wasn't the whole truth either. His voice came out muffled, broken. What are you saying? My engagement ring suddenly felt too tight, cutting off circulation to my finger. The chapel walls seemed to close in around us, the beautiful flowers now looking like funeral arrangements. Daniel looked up and I saw tears streaming down his cheeks. I was part of a psychological operations unit. We ran interrogations, Elena. Enhanced interrogations, they called them. I told myself I was serving my country, gathering intelligence to protect American lives, but some of the things we did. He trailed off, staring at the photograph in my hands. The woman in the picture, I whispered, though I dreaded the answer. What happened to her? My stomach churned as I studied Maria's face, the fear etched in her dark eyes, the way her hands were positioned behind her back as if bound. She was suspected of harboring insurgents. The intelligence was bad, Elena. She was just a teacher trying to protect her students. By the time we realized the mistake, it was too late. She died from complications of the interrogation, internal bleeding. Daniel's voice broke completely on the last words. I staggered backward, the envelope and photograph fluttering to the ground. You killed an innocent woman. The words tasted like poison in my mouth. You tortured someone to death and then came home and built a career defending clients in civil courts? Elena, please. I was young, following orders. I didn't know. Daniel reached for me, but I jerked away from his touch. Don't. My voice came out sharp enough to cut glass. Don't you dare try to justify this. You tortured people. You covered up murders, and you never told me. But what happened next changed everything. Full story is linked below or on my channel.